Hello everyone, the Army of Otters here. Welcome back to Unexplored Skyrim. Today we're going to be checking out Cracked Tusk Keep. This is a location within Falkreath Hold, directly west of Falkreath City. And Cracked Tusk Keep is just an old, decaying fort that is inhabited by a group of orcs. Now these orcs are always hostile to the player character, even if you have been named Bloodkin by the orc strongholds. It does not matter. These orcs are simply bandits and they will attack you on sight. So let's go ahead and check out Cracked Tusk Keep. And as I mentioned before, this is located within Falkreath Hold, kind of where we're kind of exploring right now, directly west of Falkreath City itself. Pretty easy to reach if you just head there from Falkreath City, like I did. As you approach, you will notice a, collapsed tower, and then some defenses or walls that are obviously in very bad shape. These walls are not going to do the job of protecting these orcs. Now there's going to be several orc hunters, and I was accidentally using practice arrows on this orc hunter, and practice arrows actually have 0 damage. However, they will still deal damage from the bow. But using iron arrows, and it was a lot easier to kill everyone. At first I was a bit worried to use archery. I was like, wow, I'm not doing any damage. Well, because I was using practice arrows like a freaking idiot. Now, it is worth mentioning the reason I switched to archery is just because I have a ton of iron arrows that I've been, saving up for really no reason. So I figured I'd go ahead and give some of my archery skills a try. And as we went around the camp, we found like a room that would be used for cooking. They had some rabbits and fish and other meats that were obviously being prepared for some kind of meal. And then obviously just looting the orc hunters. And these hunters were good for me because they're all carrying a lot of arrows. Now inside of this hunt, towards the back of the fort, we can find a skill book to increase our smithing skill. And we can also kind of find a blacksmith area in this fort, which is pretty cool. I have to say this fort is actually pretty cozy. Despite the fact that there's murderous orcs inside, it is, pretty homely, pretty cozy. Now, just outside of the fort, to the left of the entrance, there's this tree stump, and there's ants crawling around on the tree stump. I read this on the internet, and I was really shocked to find this. I never knew this existed in Skyrim. I don't know why, I just thought it was really cool. Why did the devs put this in the game? How many players ever noticed this naturally? I certainly never did. But besides for our little friends, we can head on inside to the fortress. Now this fort is pretty freaking small, and I was going to go downstairs at first just because that's what my brain told me to do, and I was rudely interrupted by some orc bandits and an orc hunter. However, they were pretty easy to kill because, they're pretty low level. After killing those orcs, I made my way back downstairs, and I found out this was the best place to go because we have a rolling potato. This potato is determined to do as many barrel rolls as possible. I picked it up and placed it back. I just found the position of these potatoes forces this one potato to move around and spin. I just thought it was quite humorous. Maybe you don't, maybe I'm just weird, but hey, whatever. Also down here, there's a locked cage, an expert lock. However, there is a key on one of the orcs, so I decided to wait before I open that. And there's also an underground entrance to the fortress from the outside, and we can pick that lock pretty easily. As you can see, we're back outside near the blacksmith area. So pretty cool. There's also some fortifications above us, which we can reach later. Heading back into the fort, we kind of found a dining area with some very delicious food, or very delicious looking food, and then there's also minor loot. In this bookcase, we can find the Legend of Red Eagle, which will start a side quest, an unmarked or a miscellaneous quest, find Red Eagle Sword, so that might be a topic for a video in another day. Then as we made our way into this final room, we can see there's obviously a fireplace that was pissing me off, so I shot it with an arrow. And then we have, I don't know how to say that, but Gunzel, whatever his name is, Gunzel did not stand a chance for us, and we just burned him to death. Now, he was actually pretty difficult when I was using a bow and arrow, and so I switched to my destruction magic because it was a lot better against him. I took the key on his body along with 100 gold, and this key will allow us access to the cage that we saw earlier in the basement. There's also another key on the dresser, and on this bookshelf we had some coins and more potions. There is a ladder which we can take outside. This leads us to a trap door. We can kind of see the surrounding area. And if we jump around up here, we can go on this little wooden wall, And in this northwest tower, we can find a master locked chest. Now, I don't have very high lockpick. As you can see, I had 28. However, in Skyrim or Elder Scrolls, it's still theoretically possible to pick these kind of locks. And I was so freaking close right there. And because I was kind of lucky in the placement of this lock, I decided to go ahead and pick it. But it still took me way too long. I wasted so many lockpicks. And the placement at this low of a level has to be so perfect. But we finally got it! And we got gold and an orcish battle axe. So after this, as you can imagine, naturally I was fuming. I was pissed. I spent 2 minutes and like a dozen lockpicks trying to open that stupid chest. And all I got was this. I was ready to kill who was ever in this vault. It's called the Cracked Tusk Vaults. And I opened it up, and I was extremely sad to find out there's no one in the vaults. So I'm going to have to take out my anger in another video. But for now, we can head on down into the vaults where we can find 2 light cages, and then a large cage that is obviously better protected. However, all of these vaults are really easy to open. We don't need any other keys besides that one earlier, or if you have expert lockpick and you're willing to, pick it, then you can come down here easily. Obviously, loot around, you can find a lot of sacks with various alchemy ingredients and some gold and stuff like that. There's 2 levers on these pillars which will open this large gate. In these smaller rooms, there are buttons that we can use to open the gates. And in this second room from the entrance, there is a book which will increase our light armor skill, which is pretty good. And the other room, we can also find another important book and also some more gold. And then on the far left bookshelf, we can find Lost Legends on top of it, and this will start the quest Forbidden Legends. Now, of course, we can find Lost Legends and the Red Eagle book throughout Skyrim, but we can actually find both of them within this fort, so it's just quite convenient. Then, as we make our way into the final chamber of the vault, we have to be careful because there are several traps just kind of laying around. There's also a locked chest that we can open, but it has, slightly better loot than the master lock chest. Who would have thunketh? And then we can also find the shards of Mehrunes' razor inside here on the pedestal. Be careful when you pick them up because it is a trap. And obviously the reason most players probably come here is because of the quest, Pieces of the Past, which require you to come here in order to find the shards. And there you have it, Cracked Tusk Keep. Now, this is a pretty minor location within Skyrim, and it's easily overlooked. However, as I stated earlier, I actually found this location to be really freaking cool. It just has a really warm and kind of homely feeling that I just really love, and I find this feeling throughout Skyrim. This place is not unique in that sense, but I just thought I would mention that it's very beautiful. It feels like a nice little home, and it's just quite peaceful way out here, besides the murderous orcs. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of Unexplored Skyrim. If you liked the video, please let me know in the comment section below. Have you ever visited here? Do you have any recommendations for a future location? Please post them in the comment section below. And guys, as always, until next time.